This is Dan Baer with California Survival School and survivallife.com. Stick around, we're going to teach you how to tackle survival priorities from a primitive perspective. Some questions come up, what if I'm in a high wind situation? Well, first off the bat, get out of the wind. Build your shelter somewhere that's wind protected. If you can't, we can do some other things. We don't want our ribbon coming through our insulation. Perfectly okay to put sticks and heavier branches on the outside, not going through your insulation. So as long as this stuff isn't going through, I can start packing heavy branches on here. Not only will these heavy branches act to keep my stuff in place, which surprisingly seems to stay there for, unless it's super high wind anyways, but not only will it keep it in place, it also acts as a way to channel the water down off your shelter. It acts almost like shingles to channel the water down if it's raining. So we can pack as much of stuff on there as we want to keep it in place, and that'll help keep our insulation in place, keep it packed together, and help shed water if we're in a rainy situation. So at this point, I think I have a pretty effective shelter. If I'm spending the night out here, I'm going to be pretty comfortable. For the most important thing is I'm warm. And again, if this shelter, for some reason I build it and it's not packing insulation close to my body, it's not working. At the end of the day, if it's not working, you start over. You do the best you can. When it is dark and you can't see the hand in front of your face, you're done for the night. So if you're starting a shelter, don't waste 2 hours making a structure and forgetting about insulation. Get the insulation first, then see what you can do about a structure. So other things that people bring up with shelters, the last few things. Right now I have a huge hole in my shelter. My heat's coming out the front. So when I get in this thing, and you're gonna go on feet first, it's really hard to close a door with your feet. So I'm gonna slide in there. I don't want this to be tight. I'm gonna make sure, the easiest way to make a door, this isn't a house, we don't have a wood door. We want a door that insulates like a sleeping bag. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a huge pile of insulation, and I'm going to pull this in after me, and it's going to pack in there. So what I would do, just to show you real quick, is get tucked all the way back. And pull my insulation in after me. And if I'm still seeing daylight, that means I don't have enough insulation to close up my door effectively. At this point, I'm packed in there. There's hardly any light, and this is pretty warm. This is pretty dang warm in here already. So this is what I would do. If I'm feeling like there's heat escaping, I can get more insulation until I have it working for me. Other things people bring up. Bugs. You're afraid of bugs being in here. Well, unless you've left it for a couple weeks, you've just put all this material together. Bugs want to get away from you for the most part. They're getting out of here. So spiders and stuff, they haven't had time to collect in your stuff. Frankly, they want to stay away from you. But one thing that traditional folks would do that live in structures like this is they'd smudge it. Smudging means taking some fragrant green or slightly wet type material, stuff that will smolder more than burn. And you get that stuff smoking well, and you get it set up in here carefully. You get it set on some rocks, a really small thing. You've built yourself a huge bonfire here if you let your fire get out of control. So you want something that's just smoking, pungent smoke, and you let that pungent smoke filter throughout your shelter. And when you do that, that cuts, that'll chase stuff away. So, bugs, everything runs from smoke. So traditionally, to clean out a shelter like this, or a grass hut, they would smudge it with smoke, and that would clean it out. And frankly, at the end of the day, you just have to not worry about it. Your first priority is to stay warm. And you're gonna sleep in that anyway. So that's what it really boils down to, is you have to just do what you gotta do. So at the end of the day, more than almost any other skill that you could learn, the ability to regulate your temperature through something like this is what's going to save your life. So I stress shelter more than any other skill, because that really is the one that's going to save you. If I'm in a low debris situation, I just do the best I can. If all I can do is get out of the wind, that's what I'm going to do. If I have enough insulated material to just get myself off the ground, I'll do that. If I have enough to make a shelter, even better. But really, when it comes down to a survival mindset, is to do the best you can with what you have. And the more time you spend investing in learning these skills, the less you have to worry about carrying, and the more prepared you'll be to improvise anywhere you go in the world. And that's what it really boils down to. I'm Dan Baer with California Survival School and Survival Life. Thanks for joining us. Keep clicking around. We got a lot of other great content to get you prepared to be outdoors and stay alive. The more you know, the less you need to carry.
We're going to do a little handgun self-defense training today. I put my hands up. Listen, I don't want any trouble. I'm going to turn my head. At the same time, I grab that, turning it down, stepping in, pop right in the nose, distract, coming under the barrel, trying to rip. If I have trouble, I'm going to knee, again, ripping, coming back. I'm going to